roll with me now. Roll with me, audience. Hopefully you're still listening. On maybe past weekend or two, past weekend, I went to the beach with my friends and my rib, and I took my dog. His name is Baba King, aka Baba Ganoush, aka Baba Booey, aka Gunna, aka Wanna, aka Fat Bitch with the PH. If you haven't seen him, go on my Instagram, go on my Twitter. This nigga weird. I post him. But he's like I forget exactly, but he just looks like a smaller version of a Pitbull. It's like some sort of like off breed of it in a sense, or maybe he could be mixed. Either way, he got little big face. You know what I mean? And he's a cool dude. We got him from the little shelter down the street, and he's a little timid, but now we've had him for a couple months. He's definitely opened up a lot more. He's more social. He wags his tail. He don't be tucking that motherfucker under his balls for whatever they're, that little flap of skin that's not his balls anymore. Sorry, Bubba. And I'm chilling. So finally leave the beach, mind you, or let's go to that. So I'm at the beach, and he's like the only dog there. Mind you, it's Labor Day weekend. So everybody and their fucking mother, grandmother, all that shit is out there. But somehow we got a spot to where we're still socially distanced from people, and it's nice. So Bob is there, and he's really afraid of the water. So I'm trying to get him in the water at this point. So as I'm walking there, there's a couple people that go, scared of us, motherfucker. I'm like, dude, this nigga is not even paying attention to you, and you're making a fast move. He's skittish away from it. So it's kind of like, what are you afraid of, nigga? You see that this little dude is afraid of you. Either way, going to the water, and he's like, he's not fucking with it because he just knows that it's the water. I don't. So I'm like, you know what? I'm at least take him near the water and just walk. And then he starts to run. And I was like, bucket, we running? We running. So I start, like, say, water's coming how it comes, and I'm just going across from it. Like, when you see people running near the beach, near the water kind of thing, that's what we're doing. Mind you, there's people walking to the water, walking away from the water. You see a super tall, lanky dude like me running with a leash and a dog. I don't know how you can not see that, but you're a fucking idiot if you can't. That's what it is. So we're going and we're running, and there's people that see us and they're like, "Oh my god, look at the dog! Oh wow!" And those are the younger kids, and I love it because it's like destroying that stigma in their head. And then you see the older people, predominantly white. They go, "Oh my god!" And it's like, dude, what the fuck is your problem? He's literally running. He don't look like he's attacking you because I have him on the leash and it's locked. It's like one of those ones that you can obviously lock at any point at a certain feet. I think it's like 15 feet. But you can see this dude. He's running and I'm running damn near side by side. He keeps going a little right or to the left and I'll run with him. But it's like, you see me and you're afraid of the dog. All right. Fast forward to that night, I go to In-N-Out with the rib, and the rib goes into the In-N-Out and everything like that. So we're like, well, fuck it, we're not going to eat in the car, and there's tables outside, so we're going to eat at the table, because obviously Bob is still with us. Now, obviously, if you know In-N-Out, that there's like those round tables, and there's like always a couple round tables on the front. So how the In-N-Out was set up, say, here's the door, if I got to do it for the audio now. So 1 is the door, and you go 2, 3, 4 going to the right. So there's 2, 3, and 4. Those are the open tables, wide open tables. Nobody's there. And I'm like, do I want to get the number 2 table, which is right next to the door? And I'm like, no, because motherfuckers are going to be like, oh my God, it's a pit, flip-flopping. So I don't go to 3 because that's kind of like when you pee in a urinal and then you go into, there's like a couple urinals and you go in the middle one so nobody can go to that corner one or the one right next to you because nobody wants to look at a dick. Everybody's kind of like, oh no, a dick. So I go to the most last one that's farthest away from the door but still able to sit. So how I have it set up, I have him, a couple like maybe 1-2 feet out. and I just have the leash locked and I'm sitting on it. So this motherfucker, as soon as he feels the tug, he's gonna come back. So I have him sitting on it and he's just chilling. He's wagging his tail, all that shit, and we're vibing, and I'm just waiting out there, and I'm just chilling, just looking at Baba, just playing with him. But I know he just wants to relax. And Rib finally comes back out with the food, and then we start talking again, and we're about to eat, and we start eating. Now, mind you, how I have it set up, I have my peripheral vision that he's still in my field of vision, Baba. So I know that this nigga can't go that far, and he's not even far enough, or I guess close enough to the other table to where he could, be a threat, at least to my knowledge, because I'm not afraid of him, and so shouldn't you. But next thing I see a guy come, and he's sitting at that table, and I'm like, all right, well, whatever, like it's whatever. And I don't know, it's kind of funny because it was a black dude with like bald head. He was kind of like short, a little like chubby, and his eyes were like the bug eyes, so it was like popping out a little bit. It was really fucking funny not to laugh at this guy, because the first thing he says, can you get your dog? I was like, huh, who said that? So I turn and I go, oh, okay, my bad, man. Call Bob over, bring in the leash just a little bit. I'm obviously not going to have him like right next to my fucking side, because that's just like, this torturous. So I'm like, oh, come here, Baba. And he's like, trotting over a little fat ass. And I just let it come up just a little bit more, like, but he's still able to, go around. And I was like, all right. And I don't say anything. I was like, oh, okay, my bad, man. Baba, come here. Boom. Do the shit. Put the leash back under me. And I continue to talk. And he goes, yeah, it's not a place for dogs. Get the fuck out of here. What the So then after I was just like, what? And he's like, yeah, it's not a place for dogs. Okay. Yeah, yeah. And he's just continuing on this for a little bit. And mind you, this only tidbit maybe lasted for a minute. So the first, when he says, oh, it's not a place for dogs, I'm staring at the rib and I'm like, this motherfucker just said this shit. Fuck this nigga. I go, what? Oh, da. And I'm like, well, I'm outside, so what do you want me to do? Oh, well, it's not a place for dogs. And he's just kind of saying that. He's like, you shouldn't have your dog here. And I was like, well, I wasn't going to leave him in the car. That's illegal. I can get a ticket. They can bring it to my car. And he says, I think he says like, oh, it's not a place for dogs again one more fucking time. And I was like, dude, shut the fuck up. And I don't even say shut the fuck up. I just do the shut the fuck up shoulder. Ooh. And I just go, I'm not even going to do it. I wanted this nigga to murmur one more thing, because I'd be like, bro, you're a pussy. What the fuck is your problem? Like, I don't care. Because my thing is, while I'm waiting for her to come back out with the food, because she obviously walked in, I'm just outside, and there's people that notice the dog, and they're like, oh, it's a cute dog. There's a literal In-N-Out employee that comes, and he's like, taking out the trash and all that shit, and he's looking at him, he's like, oh, that's a cute dog. And he's like, oh, I want to pet him, but as he goes to pet him, he's like moving the trash can, and then Bobby gets afraid of the trash can because it's rolling, and he's like, ugh. So I'm like, oh, my bad, man. Like, he's kind of afraid. So I'm like, all of that shit, if it was not a place for dogs, he definitely would have said, hey, it's not a place for dogs. It's a fucking In-N-Out. What the fuck? So I'm just like, oh my God, this nigga got me fucked up. And then when I think about it, that's how it is, to reel it back in, because hopefully you guys are still listening. That's how it is with like Black Lives Matter. We've been systematically taught to not like a Pitbull or a Rottweiler because they are vicious people or vicious animals. Sorry to say it, but and it's a fucked up thing, because it's like, why are you thinking that this thing is so fucked up? And I've constantly had a debate about like different breeds and everything like that. And I understand those tendencies that they typically have. But it all depends on the trainer, or not the trainer, but the owner. I mean, how are you treating the dog at the house? Are you being social with it? I walk this motherfucker at least 3 times a day. This nigga wakes me up with his nose budging on a motherfucker for me to walk him in the morning. I love it though. and he sees the neighborhood dogs and they start barking and his tail's just up, but he's not doing anything. And, so you can come from a bad place and still be a good person. You can be, marginalized and say that you are this thing, but you're not. And for the most popular debate of they are the most vicious dogs, they have the most bites. No, that's golden retrievers and Labradors. I believe those are two different breeds. Either way, those are the two highest things, like on the top shelf. Pit bulls, Rottweilers, and like whatever kind of dog that's, oh my god, so scary. Those are actually like less than 10, I believe. The last time I looked that shit up. So it's like the golden retrievers, or golden retrievers or whatever, Labradors, those are the white dogs. They have the most bites, the most crimes. So think about that shit. While you got all these white people killing, shooting, and getting away with shit scot free. I don't even gotta say names because I don't even remember the names at this point. Nigga. All these white dogs are getting away with this shit. And all these black dogs, like, or brown dogs, are the one like, no, look at those motherfuckers. Those are the ones doing that shit. No, nigga, no. Cut that shit out. Cut that shit out, Quay. Because I'm tired of it. I'm like, legit, this is a very fucking annoying thing to think about. Where you think about and see that it's, oh my God, it's this dog. It has more muscle, at least that you can see, but you're going to have this one surfer looking dude. And then he's like, I'm going to kill me a nigger, bro. And you're like, wow, that's fucking racist. Um, yeah,